What up, guys? My name is Jonas, and this will be my attempt in making a guide showing off and explaining how I build my house in World of Warcraft as it was requested by the Reddit user Early Willingness 350 in my post in the Reddit of Housing for WoW for some more details about how I did it, and this will be my attempt in helping a bit more to understand how I did it, what I used, and so on. So first things first, to recreate my house exactly how it is currently, you will need to be at least level 7. I am currently level 8, and I have just a bit of a free budget left, which I can't really use for anything right now. And another important detail that you guys probably already realized, but the exterior of my house is basically nothing. I have not done basically anything in the exterior right now because currently we only have access to 250 budget for the exterior, and to what I'm planning to do is not nearly enough, so I'm not going to bother editing the exterior right now. So my house is supposed to be a recreation in WoW of what the castle of Whiterun in The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim is. It is not a perfect recreation. It is a adapted version of mine with the current tools that we have available for us at the moment. So I will be mostly explaining some ideas that I used and how I use some items and what are those items, and if I can remember I will also uh, provide the information on where to find the NPC that you can buy some specific decoration. So starting with the entrance, which would be the stairway that as soon as you enter in Dragonsreach, you have a stairway leading up to the the bonfire in the central dinner hall. This would be my recreation of their stairway. And let's start it right here. So these stone walls, Guionian stone wall, this is very simple. You can buy those from the Guionian quartermaster, and you can find them in Darnassus and Stormwind. You can find them in Stormwind right here, right by the side of the Stormwind embassy, and in Darnassus right here when you take the portal, or in previous days the boat, you will arrive in the dock right here, and you will go into the tree portal, and as soon as you come out of that portal around here, right by the flight master, and you will find the quartermaster right there, and you will be able to buy the stone walls. You do need reputation, but you can easily just buy the tabard for Gunez and just run a couple of low level dungeons to farm that reputation really easily. So this section right here I have used, let's take a look, a total of 58 of these stone walls throughout all of my house. And basically I would put them down, scale them up to 200%, and then just rotate them upside down. And then I would reposition them how in their position. And this goes for every single one of those, right? Now, these pillars, they are just, or as you can see, orgrimmar around the interior pillar. Very simple. I'm using two of them stacked on top of each other, and those banners are, you can get them from the order hall for the warrior in Legion. For the stair itself, this is just a bunch of beams that I use. There is also some small platforms here that I use in the sideways as well for the braziers or braziers. And for the stair, my idea is to always use a is to position one beam around halfway in height of each other, so we can get a really smooth uh, run climbing up. And the platform is just to have some extra space to also simulate some of the platforms that we have on this stairway. Right back there, there is a custom window. I used a bunch of tiny gold shire windows there, and this elegant curved table to make this round shape, since we don't have round windows for interior design. I don't know why, but that's how it is. And to make the division, I used these sturdy wooden interior doors, and this is just a scaled up elk head, again to emulate what it is in this section of Dragonsreach. Now, these weapons right here, they are once again just like the banners, they are bought from the Order Hall class. No, sorry, the class Order Hall for the warrior in Legion. And right here, I used some large platforms to get the uh, braziers correctly positioned, so they wouldn't be just floating here, right? And I also used some of those platforms right here by the side of the stair because there were some empty space, some holes right here, so I didn't want those holes showing off, so I used some platforms and rotated them to allocate them here and cover up those holes. That is really simple. That is all that I used, that all that I did for this initial room. I want to make this as quickly as I can because it is a bit late, and also I don't really know how I would uh, explain step by step how to do this. But before we go into the next room, to the dinner hall, let me just show you quickly this. This is the floor plan for the starter. For the starter room, I used the stairwell, and then I added, then I used the second floor to connect to the dinner hall. That's why we have the stairway here. So this is where the throne room for your Balgrove is in the game, and I recreated that to the best of my ability. So let's start with the most simple stuff here. I'm not going over again the pillars and the banners, I already went through that back there. For the tables, most of this food is from craft, like the cheese, the bread, those plates of ribs, these shish kebabs right here, they are all crafted. However, the pie, those plates with bananas and apples, the wine, they are all bought from NPCs. If I'm not mistaken, in Silvermoon, you will need to double check on that. But the mugs, you can get them from the garrison on Draenor. You need to build the inn, and then there will be a waiter walking around in there, and you can buy for 50 garrison resources, if I'm not mistaken, each of those mugs. I did use quite a lot of them. Let me double check right here. I used a total of 19 so far. So the cheese is from Door Within Cooking. For most cooking decor, you will need about 80 skill, 80 points of skill. So right here we have, let me see, decoration. There is, we have the bread that is also from Door Within Cooking, and the cheese. You can check on Wowhead for best places for farming lumber and where to buy the other mats necessary for that. Those grapes, I honestly have no memory of how I got them. I I think I just had them with me, but let me see. Grapes. Oh no, I just remember. It is a achievement in Everson Woods. Yes, not really achievement, is a treasure. I think it is around here. Somewhat around this area right here. There is a treasure there, and you get this little plate of grapes as a reward. Wine, you can just buy that from vendors. Now, the most annoying thing that I use in both my tables is this barrel of mead or ale, which to buy this you need to complete the reclamation of Gilnea's scenario, and you can only buy these barrels if you are a worgen. So what I did was I completed the scenario with this character, and then I made a fresh worgen, went through the starter zone as quickly as I could, and then uh, as soon as I arrived in Stormwind, I took I just took the boat, I think it was, to reach mm, Gilneas. Yeah, there is a boat that leads straight to Gilneas right here, which you can take that boat from Belameth in Dragonflight. Uh, right around here? No. Where is the goddamn boat now? I am fairly certain that it is not in the Emerald Dream. I think it is in the instant version of Belamaf, so I probably won't be able to see here. But it is in there. Then you can take that boat, you'll be taken to right in front of the NPC that will sell you the these barrels and a couple of other decorations as well. These rugs, Crimson Silver Moon Runner, not the one that I wanted. However, since we cannot adjust the width and height separately, you can only change the size of items through scale. Then I decided to use this one since it would fit better how it looks in the game, since underneath the tables and nearby them there is these three rugs in Skyrim. And I also use a bunch of screenshots from the game Skyrim to recreate to the best of my ability all of this, right? I literally reinstalled Skyrim and then I took a bunch of screenshots to use as a reference to build all of this. So let's go for these tables. So these little bottles, like this one, there is a little round bottle on the other side right here as well. And this one too. Those are from the Fanta promotion that was going on a couple of weeks a couple of weeks ago, and I just paint them with other color to make them seem like mead, ale, wine, and so on. Those chalices, they are from blacksmithing, Shadowlands blacksmithing, you can put out a crafting order for those. You just need to get the materials. Now these won't be able to find them there. We need to complete this quest to cook with finery, and they cost 200 of the Dragonflight resources to buy each. By the way, this plate of meat right here, the roast river beast platter, this is also a quest line from Dragonflight, and it is a annoying quest line because you can only complete one quest per day. So if you go on Wowhead and look for this item, roast river beast platter, you will find without much of a problem the questline that you need to follow to unlock this. I was lucky enough and I got on my second day of the questline, so I think it's not that hard, but I would wish you the best of luck in getting these because they look really cool. And these lamps that I just scaled down from the ground, right? Basically both tables are the same with the exception that this table right here have this pie and grapes because it's to have the idea that is this table is for the nobles and that other table is for soldiers and so on. Now the bonfire or fireplace, whatever, in here in the middle. Same stone walls that I use back here, but I also use this Pandaren signal brazier or brazier to make the embers. This is blacksmithing for Pandaria. You can also anything that is from profession you can put out a crafting order for other player that already have the skill to craft those items to craft them for you. That's how I got many of those items. Then I will just scale them up to the max and then just throw them underground. This is the Warbrave brazier, sorry, and this is basically just a giant totem. Let me see if I can show you this one. Again, scale up and then shove it into the ground. 200%. Then you can build this really cool fireplace, fire pit, whatever. Now, let's go here to the side and let's take a look for the Farengar main room. So this is just a again platform with some beams on the side and this round platform for the feet, and this is the Gunium map. If I'm not mistaken, it is professional as well. Yes, Cataclysm inscription that I just rotated to fit better here. Those little potions, they are from alchemy. Same thing with this alchemy table right here. Now this item right here, which is supposed to be the enchanting table that we have in Farengar's room, are two different items. We have the Illidari Skull Sentinel to make the throw skull for the enchanting table, and right below it we have this open Dominar storage crate, which I don't think I have another one, so this right here. You can buy it from the Void Researcher Emily in Void Storm, right here in Midnight. Now, for the extra decoration, like shelves and so on, I just fill them with whatever, just to not have them empty sitting in the corners, right? Just to feel more lively. These scrolls, they are, if I'm mistaken, from Draenor. Yes, you can buy them from a NPC in Talador. I'm not sure that you need reputation. I don't think you do, but don't quote me on that. Then this is just some random stuff that I added here to pretend that the court mage is doing some research. Like Farengar is studying the dragon burial sites map on his table, right? And he is so gem on his table as well. Now for his uh, study room or office, this is where I added a bit more stuff, more of the magical decoration that we have in the game, but nothing crazy, just to make you feel like a that this room belongs to a mage, right? Nothing really crazy. This book, god damn it. This is from the last boss from Upper Karazhan, the Legion dungeon, not the raid, the dungeon. More of those scrolls. This scroll right here is, if I'm not mistaken, from Reputation. Goddamn. No, but it is from a questline, Spires of Arak. And it does require some Apexis crystals, but nothing crazy. This little bottle right here, this is alchemy as well, is from Outland. Another item that you can just ask for other player to craft for you. Right? I will be hushing a little bit some stuff, I because there's not much to say about everything in each room, right? More about custom items like this one. In this room, the only really custom thing that I did was this single bed, which is just a table with a sleeping bag on top of it, or bedroll. Yeah, you can buy them, if I'm not mistaken, from Void Storm. Yes, correct. From both Emily and Anomander. Then I have a couple more scrolls there, and so on. This you can fill up the decoration with whatever you feel like that fits the room, right? Like this little banner from the Kirin Tower, which is crafted by tailors, Northrend Tailoring, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. And then let's go to the next room, but beforehand let me just show you the floor plan for this side. So in Skyrim, those rooms, his Farengar's office and his room would be on these walls right here, but since we can actually have doors right here, then I just adapted to whatever I could do with the WoW systems, right? So again, adaptation to what we can do in game. This little locker there, that is from a quest in Elwyn Forest. This platter of food, I'm not sure, I think it is quest as well. Yes, a quest in Harandar. These books, they are bought from Dornogal with the crystals. Let me check their name. Resonance crystals. They are about 1200 each. Not each individual book, but each set of those books. Right? You can see it is a little set of them. It is quite expensive and quite annoying to farm those crystals currently. So this would be the kitchen, and nothing really fancy here. However, I did added this little trellis up here to hang the dried corn, which you can buy this just from the decoration vendor in the neighborhood main hub. This boar, it is from a quest in Zulaman. Let me see if I can find roast them. No, I can't get them find. Spit, okay. Ah, not a quest, a achievement. That is the achievement. You can look for it later on. And again, this is the same Union stone walls that we have back there, and right below here to make this as well. And this is just a rock that I put here to pretend is ash, and we have the again the Pandaren brazier to make embers right here. Now this room itself is a sterile room again, but let me go to the second floor to show you guys. When you add this room in this location right here, since it is the second floor, you can choose to go down or up. I chose then downwards to make the uh, servant's room and my food storage and so on. And since this was beforehand just a big hole, I just filled all of this with platforms to make the floor itself. I could have just scaled up all of them and it would have used way less platforms, but I thought it would look ugly having just some ginormous floorboards compared to these ones on this other side. So I just kept them at their default size. Again, this little table, this custom table is just a platform with some beams for legs and that's it. Nothing special. Same thing goes for this guard right here. It is just beams scaled down for about 50% of the side if I'm not mistaken. Yes. And these ones below are a little bit smaller. This pen right here you can buy from the uh, new decor duos in Silvermoon. Now going down again, staircase, same thing that I did for the entrance. Now these are walls that I added afterwards to make some division in this lower floor. This will be the servants quarters slash food storage. So I set some stuff here to pretend where they would be taking stuff to the tables upstairs. Just a simple winery here as well, just to mm, don't have a empty corner. Oh, and you can just buy this from the neighborhood vendor as well. Again, more walls that I added personally here. Then this is where I have my food storage with some food crafted like the cheese, and most of this stuff is just bought from the vendors from Voice Storm, and some of them are from the uh, daily NPCs that show up in our neighborhoods, right? You can just really do whatever you like down here. You don't have to do exactly how I did, but this is how I felt uh, it looked nice for me at least. Nothing special here, nothing really custom here beside the walls themselves. Let's go back up. And now this section of the throne room, I have now here I have the scaled up platforms. They are, if I'm not mistaken, scaled up to 200%. Yes, to make this elevated section for the throne. And then I use some more of the Union stone wall to cover up some of the wood of those platforms. And I also use those drainic fences, as we also have some sort of fencing right here in Skyrim. The throne itself you can get from Legion. I got mine during the uh, event for Legion that I don't remember the name, but you can also buy them for 12k order hall resources in Dalaran sewers. This dragon skull right there you can also buy. Let me see if I can find it right here from the Hunter order hall. 1200 order hall resources, and sadly you need to complete the order hall campaign to be able to buy this headpiece, but it is worth it. It is worth it. And on the bedside, some braziers and small platforms to make this even more elevated place for the throne itself. Now, I also added some extra walls right here to make a little separate corridor to lead to the staircase that will lead us further into my house, leading to my personal library slash office and my room. So by the side we have some more of the uh, drinks like wines with the vintage chalices and so on. Nothing really different that we already have seen. Some shelves and stuff that I need to fill up a bit more, but that's it. And then right here I have the main staircase that will lead to the right to my library and to the left to my room. So both of these statues right here, you can get them from vendor in Everson Woods. And this one, the lady statue, is from Midnight Geocrafting. I would highly recommend to use a craft order because it is quite expensive, each one of these. Currently on my server they are around 20k each, so quite a bit expensive. So staircase, same thing as it was before, beams and platforms. The guard are also beams that I just rotated to kind of fit somewhat into guard, but not really perfect, but good enough, right? Then by the side a little custom table with some sofas and places to sit to enjoy some books and just vibe around. This is just a platform with a bin below it, that's it. And below this my staircase, this is not platforms, this is just single beams that I used to make a little wall here, because I did make a closet under the stair. Yes, just like Harry Potter. No, it doesn't exist in Skyrim. Well, not in Dragonsreach at least, but I thought that it would be cool. This table is just some round platforms together with, guess what, another beam below it. And then right here, same thing as the other side, a bunch of beams for the wall. And this would be my deposit for tools and cleaning stuff. For gardener and for the guy that do the cleaning, his magic broom is already here as well. This toolbox is from the decor duels as well. You can buy from the vendor. It doesn't say that here, but it is from the decor do vendor. I think it is 50 of the currency, and that hammer, sorry, that was wrong. It is midnight blacksmithing that I just scaled down to fit in there. This bucket, clean master bucket, it is from uh, neighborhood vendor, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, exactly. So to get this bucket, I would just go around uh, joining the neighborhood of anyone in your friends list that is not in the same neighborhood as you, to check if in their neighborhood they have a different vendor, because it is random for each neighborhood. So you can buy quite easily a bunch of different decorations from different neighborhoods. You don't have to rely for the current NPC that is in your neighborhood specifically. Then I just added some paintings right here. These paintings, they are, you can buy them from Silvermoon. They are 5k each, 5k gold each. Because of this golden frame of theirs. From this NPC right here, Corlin. That's why I only bought 3. It is quite expensive. Let's go first to my library. Really simple stuff here, nothing major, nothing custom, just some decor allocated to not feel completely empty. It is still a work in progress. Now, this is the room that will probably be the most tiresome to build, because every one of these books, it is or bought or crafted. So it is divided between books bought from the Dornagal vendor for resonance crystals, or crafted Dragonflight books, and they are both literature for or Dragonflight or uh, Taillock, Dornagal, and so on, right? However, if you are using the literature for Dragonflight, then you only need 2 sets of book to occupy a single row of 3 bookcases. So I have right here 1, 2, 3 bookcases, and only 2 sets of books, and they take all of this space right here. So you can save up quite a bit of money and lumber being farmed by positioning the books more cleverly. This window, it is a custom window that I used uh, well, windows and door frames, and then I just painted them to fit more like a wood shape of color shape, sorry. And then I just added these curtains right here on top to hide a bit the other stuff right there, which you can also buy from the NPC vendor right here in your neighborhood. It is the garden stuff, the arch trellis. Then I would just rotate them for around 270 degrees and allocate them. Now this you can also just buy from the vendor. This head you can't. You can get this head from an achievement in Northrend. You can look it up if you wish so. Now those plushies, they are crafted. A friend gave them to me, so I don't really know how. But oh, okay, those are Legion tailoring, Draenor, and this is, I think it is was from the Murloc plushie is from was from a Twitch promotion, if I'm not mistaken. This little glass table right here is crafting. I think it is jewel crafting from Northrend, exactly, with a little teacup, more scrolls from Draenor, a coffee mug which is from the uh, random NPC that stays in your neighborhood, with some books and scroll to simulate that some work is being done. And right here I have this secret bookcase wall, which leads to my secret interrogation room, because this is a castle. We need a interrogation room. And in here I just place a bunch of stuff that I got from Legion. This thing, however, right here, this little case of poison, it is crafted. The apothecary, uncrowned apothecary cabinet. I think I'm actually getting those confused. No, it is not crafted. This is bought from the uh, class order hall for the rogue in Legion. Sorry about that. But everything else is basically from Legion. But this table, it is, if I'm not mistaken, from Battle for Azeroth. This guillotine is Cataclysm. Engineering. And then the Plague Canister. Northland Alchemy. This is just Legion, you can buy them from vendors. The Legion Torture Rack, Draskar Days, have some boxes, coffins. Those coffins you can buy from the NPCs right here in the neighborhood as well. Then I just made some hanging chains. This is also from Legion, from that special time walking event that Legion had, Legion Remix. That's it. And these stocks right here, I think it is from Profession as well. No, this is again from the same NPC that you buy those kegs that I used on my dinner hall table. But to buy these ones, you don't need to buy them as a worgen. Now let's quickly go to my room now to end this uh, joke of a guide, but now this is supposed to be like a some sort of a trophy room. I just hanged around a bunch of weapon racks, The statue as well, it is from a, I think it is from achievement in Eversong. It is a, not achievement, a quest, sorry. But you can buy more from Saffron, which, if I'm not mistaken, he is situated around here in the Southern Soiri, something like that. The quartermaster is there as well for the Silver Moon Court. So these items: Skyheart Banner, Guard Emblem, Obsidian Warrior Pendant. This is from the neighborhood vendor as well, such as this one. The Illidari Glaive Rest. This is from Legion Order Hall for the Demon Hunter. And you need the Slayers campaign, so you need also to complete the main campaign for the Demon Hunter class order hall in order to buy these ones. Now this little gem in here, it is from the decor duels as well. Then I just bought this display case, which is also from the decor duels, and then I just scale down and moved it inside the display case, right? For my room, the only thing that is really custom here is my bed, which is super simple. It's just the basic sturdy wooden bed with some beams and a platform on top to simulate more of a noble bed. Not really perfect, but it does the job well enough. Then I just hang around some spears around. This is those spears, they are bought from the Argentina. You need to complete a quest for them. I don't remember if it is daily or weekly, but you need to check the Argentina often to check which quest is currently active. Now this Frostwolf X Dart board, it is from Draenor Garrison, and you actually need to be Horde in order to buy that. And you can buy this from the trade post building in your garrison. Really simple. This is just a PvP chest, and this little pile of lumber here for the fireplace, it is also bought from the decor duels. Then behind these privacy screens, I have my bathtub and a sink to wash the face in the morning. And basically that is all. I don't have much custom stuff done. So in these upper rooms, the roof you can make arched like this using the customize mode. Then you can use the vaulted ceiling, and the fresh canvas you can also buy from the same NPC, not the same, but from a nearby NPC that you buy those paintings that are 5k. You can buy these cheaper ones, which are, if I'm not mistaken, 1500 gold. Let me see if I can show you the name. right here, this NPC, and I just allocate it and rotate it on top of the uh, easel. And this rug, you can get from classic WoW leatherworking. Again, do craft orders and and put a symbolic tip for the crafter. And that is basically it. So far, that's all that I have done. I will improve this further on, and I will also build the exterior once we have a bigger budget for the exteriors decoration. Now let me just show you the floor plan for this section. Again, the main hall, I use the large square room, and then behind that I separated this section, the that little corridor with some walls, and then I use a stairwell room to go up and then lead to the third floor, where I had both corridors leading to the library and then to my room. If you guys have any question about some of the stuff that I may have not and probably didn't explain, you can ask in the comments. I will try my best to answer and explain whatever question you guys have, and feel free to uh, do the same and have a cool house. Again, thanks for watching, and I hope this was helpful in some way, even if it's just to show what it can be done with such an early version of the housing system, since we don't have many advanced tools. Like I said before, we can uh, individually change the width or height of items. We can only change the scale, which change both at the same time. And for my precise for more precise shapes, we would need those individual settings, but that's all we can do for now, right? So that's it, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you perhaps next time.